Hi there, it's Carl Irwin, the Con Magician. It's been a while, but I figured that I would show you something here today. So if you take a look very closely, watch. Ooh, spooky. Okay, we're going to talk about a very simple topic. This is about lapping, sleeving, and generally holding out. Lapping, sleeving, generally holding out. So a lot of small object and coin magic effects can be accomplished just by being creative with where you keep things and where you put things. Especially if you're at a table, you don't even have to be that creative, because anything underneath the table, outside of view from the table, is fair game. And in an impromptu setting, you can even do a lot of lapping, literally dropping things in your lap or picking things up from the lap in order to bring them into play. So I don't do an awful lot of this except to say that as part of my, things that I do. I think I had a video on there a while back about magic that I do, tricks that I do, being small item tricks. Magic with small objects that is very impromptu, where you have any kind of small object. I think I did it with chess pieces or something, a matchbox car or something like that. Just any kind of small object, a sugar packet, and doing something, generally vanishing it, making it appear, or transforming it in some way, or transposing it to another place. Those are the typical kinds of effects with small objects. Whenever I'm doing that in an impromptu setting, it will involve some of these ideas related to holding out in unorthodox places or ditching also in unorthodox places. And the basic premise is just being way ahead. For making something appear, having something hidden out in a place where you can get to with good reason, but without suspicion, at the right time. Obviously, if I want to bring something into play, the worst place I can keep it is in my pocket and have to retrieve it from my pocket or any pocket, because that is a place where we keep things. However, if I could keep it in some other, even more accessible place than that, that is not a pocket or a receptacle, place where things are supposed to be kept, I'm way better off. I can actually generate a situation where it seems that there's emptiness of the hands. I can still get proximity, retrieve the item from that unorthodox place, and then ring it in with the memory of empty hands being in play. I mean, just in this situation here for this little gag, the spider is hidden in my sleeve, and I'm just prepared for this particular moment right here. That's an extremely unorthodox place for it to be. We'll talk about some other things that are other places that are a little bit better than that. But you can imagine this situation where you're at a restaurant or something, you're sitting down at a dinner table, and it wouldn't be much of anything to, under the cover of the table, place something where it needs to be, get it into play, give some time, and then bring up the subject, and then create the effect, right? And the effect is you're empty, you're free, you're clear. You push up a sleeve, as if to get ready for something, and then you take the item, right? You steal the item away. You've demonstrated some emptiness, you've pushed back the sleeves, whatever kind of talk or patter goes on, and now you're free to make something happen. And if the item is alarming in and of itself, the effect is even better, right? So obviously making something, making a very good realistic looking plastic spider appear is much more alarming, especially at a dinner table, than making some coin disappear or something like that. Which can bring up the idea too about the small objects that you keep with you. Why do coin magic when you could do realistic looking plastic spider magic? Good question. Just a good question. Something to think about. But just holding out in weird areas. Let's talk quickly about some good areas to hold out, though. Some more traditional ones. Armpits. Armpits are a great holdout place. To put the item under the armpit And one of the reasons why this is such a great place is because it's very logical to get access to it. Even in the idea of pulling up sleeves, I can pull my sleeve up here, but I could also pull my sleeve back from here. If I pull my sleeve back into my armpit, I can dump something into it and get control and bring it out. Coins. This is very good for thumb tips, by the way, because it's easy to insert a thumb into an armpit and ditch a thumb tip, or even get one and trade it off in that location. So armpits, if you have sleeves open, obviously you can leave things in the flaps or in the roll of a sleeve. That's a good spot too. If your sleeves are buttoned up and closed up, then you can talk about sleeving in its more traditional sense, where things are literally sitting in the sleeve. Very good for coins to have a coin sitting in there that can be dropped in or taken back. Typically, sleeving will involve kicking a coin into the sleeve. Very traditional kind of sleeving motion is to pick a coin up, and I'll probably drop it. These sleeves are not very big, but usually want to have a sleeve that's nice and open on the bottom. But kicking a coin, I dropped it. Cling, cling, cling. But kicking a coin into the sleeve. Let's see. I'll give it one more shot. See if I can pull this up. Yeah, I missed it. Hold that thought. But kicking a coin into a sleeve, better if you have like a suit jacket on or something like that. Another way is to use gravity to drop a coin into a sleeve. If you have a sleeve here, you can place it in the hand, drop it past the palm, allow it to go into the sleeve. Watches are used in this way too, to deposit underneath bands items that are, logically present. You don't have to have some kind of special band there, but just to stick it into a watch on the inside of the band. So we have armpits, sleeves, parts of the articles of clothing that you're wearing that are not pockets specifically. If you have a button shirt, hiding something, if you can pin something inside of the button down opening of the shirt, you have access to it. It's better, I find, to access it this way, reaching over with the fingers and grabbing out and pulling out as if from a suit jacket, than reaching in from this way, because there's kind of pretty good implication of inserting fingers into it. Going this way, it looks a little unnatural. Whereas if you're going this way and grabbing this way, it's just, I think, a little bit more free flowing to go in that motion. So if you want to take something, think about this in terms of a jacket. If you have a jacket on and you want to retrieve something from the jacket, you open up the jacket and reach in. If you want to retrieve something in a covert way, rather than reaching into the jacket from the opposite hand, you would want to take it from the hand that is shielded by the jacket. So you'd have it pinned inside the lapel over here, reach around with the fingers and pull the item out. It's just a better way to retrieve. Other ideas too, especially if you have a collar shirt on or a jacket on, right here behind the neck, you can leave an item right here, because a very natural motion is to scratch the back of your head. You can be very free, very open. You can even gesture out here and scratch the back of your head, give a comment of some kind, and then you have an item in play. And then at the right opportunity, you can bring it out. So behind the neck, inside the lapel. Another good place for thumb tips as well is the back of the lapel. I've seen that done a number of times by people. I caught a street magician doing this one time, and I thought, of all environments, this is the worst place to do that, because the angles were very bad. But it is a good practice if you have good control. Good control would be like at a table where you know the seating, and the only attention you have is from the people who are stuck in their places and cannot see around the sides. That would be good. And then finally, the lap. The lap is good. The lap is great. Same idea as the sleeving, without trying to shoot it into the sleeve, but just grabbing the coin, picking it up and holding it, and then doing something with it. I also do highly recommend this, that when you use a ditching, like lapping, a ditching method, if I'm going to ditch this in my lap, it is far better to pick up, transfer, do some kind of convincing motion, allow significant time, and then demonstrate that it is gone. I think that the amount of time that you offer is crucial to the act of ditching and lapping. But anyway, that's it. One thing about lapping, if you don't carry a handkerchief, this is a great reason to do it. Not just because a handkerchief could be useful as a prop in a magical effect, and we've looked at things like that before where you use a handkerchief and you have to take it out to use it. It can just be useful as a covert device, just as something that can bridge the space between the thighs sitting in the lap so that things can much more freely be dropped into the lap, and you don't have to worry about it falling down or losing control of it. And likewise, if you know that it's in a place where it can be caught, it's a lot easier to get it back later on whenever the time comes. You ask someone to do something, giving you the opportunity to get the hands down out of the way, and then you can bring something back into play at a later time. Other things to consider too, and I don't think this is a very good one. I once had, I did a video on the spread call that's on Penguin, and I did a few, I think that's what it was. Oh, no, it wasn't that. It was some other demonstration on the channel. And I was on vacation, so I used a placemat, just a round placemat. And someone in the comments section, I ignored that one, but they made a comment about, you really should use a nice close-up mat. You should invest in a close-up mat rather than using something like that. And I thought, that's exactly what you shouldn't do. You should actually depend better and more on impromptu elements to help in your presentations, because it's illogical to bring out a close-up pad, and do things with it. But when you're sitting at a table, there's all kinds of real estate right in the open where things can be ditched and hidden underneath dishes, glasses, placemats, underneath handkerchiefs, underneath napkins. There's all kinds of places, even the tablecloth itself, can be folded over or crinkled, or even between the tablecloth and the table itself. You can bunch up a section and have a holdout that's right there where something is sitting just underneath the tablecloth in view, and your hands have close proximity to it to pull it out. Very good for cards or something like that. Think about the items around you and just plant things ahead. Plant things in the open ahead. Give the appropriate amount of time, the right introduction and segue, and the item will be accessible to you. So just a quick discussion a little bit about lapping and sleeving, ditching and retrieving. I think it's wrong for me to give you a list really of places where you can ditch and hold out, because the sky's the limit. In fact, the more unorthodox your ditching and holding out location, the better it is and the more effective it will be. So anyway, just a little bit of discussion, a little bit of Halloween visual. And because I haven't been posting, just a few thoughts on small object magic. So good luck with that, and happy magicking.